ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om, salutations to all. So in this Shravan month, here in this second chapter, as I said yesterday, 30 chapters are there in the Shravan Mahatmya. Maybe I said 13 yesterday, actually it is 30. All are not about the Mahatmyam of Shravan. It is also about various important vratas that come in Shravan, what to do, how to celebrate, what kind of sadhana one should do. So all that is mentioned in these 30 chapters in Skanda Puran. So in the second chapter here, Bhagavan says, Kuryan Naktavratam Yogin Shravane Niyato Naraha Rudrabhishekam Kurvita Masamatram Dine Dine. One thing that Bhagwan Shiva loves is Abhisheka. Abhisheka Priya Shivaha. Alankara Priyo Vishnuho. So Vishnu Bhagwan loves Alankar, and so one does different types of Alankar and clothes and ornaments and Chandan and many of those for Vishnu Bhagwan. For Shivji it is Abhisheka. So every single day one should do Abhishek is a sadhana suggested here. Rudrabhishekam Kurvita Masamatram Dine Dine. Daily. And if possible, eat once only in the night. Once only in the night means through the day, not as many times. Means only one time one should eat. Naktavratam, that is called. But who should do yogin? Somebody who is full time on the path. If one is having work to do, daily duties and other things, if one is able to do, nothing like it, no problem. But otherwise, at least do the Abhisheka. So these are different things that are given. Whatever one can do, one should do the sadhana. There is no point in making our self struggle and be energyless and then faint, etc. Our daily duties also we offer them to Bhagavan. And then specifically some of these vratas, they help us to develop self-control, mastery of the senses, willpower, make the mind pure and single-pointed, and one becomes ready for dhyan. So that's why he says that, so this is one thing, eat once a day, sleep on the floor, follow brahmacharya, all that he gives here. Bhumishai brahmachari satyavakyo bhaven mune. Speak the truth. Asmin mase kritam yat danantyaya kalpate. One can do dan, it has infinite result. Panchamrita abhishekam cha mama pritikaram param. Panchamrita abhishek also Bhagwan loves a lot. Dharana parane kuryad uposhanam athapicha. So there is some vrata called dharana parana, or one should do upvas. So these are some sadhanas which are mentioned here, and one can worship Bhagwan with flowers, fruits, grains, tulsi, manjari of tulsi or petals of tulsi, bilva patra, and that is called laksha. One can do laksha archana. Bilva patrai laksha pujam shankarasya samacharet. Pushpai फलैश्च धान्यैश्च तुलसी मंजरी दलैः कोटिलिंगादि कर्तव्यम brahmananschaiva bhojayet. One can do make kotilinga. So one sadhana is where one makes the parthiv linga with the mud. Like that one makes kotilinga. Koti is 1 crore. So in Maheshwar. So when I was in the Narmada Parikrama, Maheshwar comes on the way on the northern banks. So Ahilyabai Holkar, one of the greatest queens of our Bharat, and how she resurrected so many temples, a great woman who went through so many challenges, and how many family members, more than 27 or 28 family members of hers passed one by one. Her husband also passed away, but she was very strong. And there in Maheshwar, the fort, she stays. I mean, her palace is there. Very simple was her living, but dedicated to serving the society, the country, the culture. So she used to, if you see any picture of her, there will be a Shivlinga in her hand, a great devotee of Shivji. So she used to do uh, 11 lakh Parthivalingas. The Brahmanas will do that every day. 11 lakh Parthivalingas will be made, and the worship of the Parthivalinga will happen every morning. Because that time 11 lakh was her population of Malwa. So for every single person, she would get the puja done. Even today they still do, but they do 11,000 Parthiv lingas every day. And so the idea here is, this is one tradition given as per the Puranas. Parthiv lingas are made from the mud, so there is a a prototype or die type of a thing which has been made, which one puts in the mud, and the lingas will come. And then one worships those lingas. So that's called Parthiva linga. So like that, here it is written Koti lingadi kartavyam, feed the brahmanas. So these are various sadhanas that one can do. But one thing he says here is, Na nayen masamenam tu vratavandhyam kadachana. Don't leave this month without doing vrata. Meaning, in this month, vrata must definitely be followed, and one has to live with Satyam Ahimsa Brahmacharya. This is called Sab, S-A-B, Satyam Ahimsa Brahmacharya. Sanatan Dharma ka Sab ye hai teen. Satyam Ahimsa Brahmacharya. Gurudev used to call them as the pillars, 3 pillars of Sanatana Dharma. Satyam is intellectual conviction, no compromise with my intellectual convictions, which is the right conviction, dharmic, not something which is adharmic or hurting, harming. Dharmic conviction, no compromise, one should live that. Brahmacharya, Gurudev used to define as moderation in all the sense contacts with the world. Ahimsa is a mental level, where we have the attitude of non-violence, and even at physical level, then minimum violence is what we have to engage in terms of our survival also, what we eat, drink, etc. Some jiva hatya is happening, but that is unavoidable, and that is why we recompensate that with the Panchamaha Yajnas. Bhuta Yajna is one of them. So the 3 principles, Satyam, Ahimsa, Brahmacharya, one lives, and that's why you will see in this month many people, like in Goa and all these places, they will not eat fish, Shravan month. Because one should live in this. The idea is, on one hand, we master our senses, our mind, live in Satyam Ahimsa Brahmacharya, and then we will see, along with this, when the vratas are done, Rudabhishek is done, or Havan is done, or like what he says here, the Laksharchana is done, Parthiv Pujan is done, different sadhanas which are given. If one follows those, one will see that the mind has become sattvic, there's an inner peace, happiness. When one has a taste of that, slowly, automatically, the rest of the attachments one will drop. The idea is not to suppress oneself for 1 month, not eat certain things and non-vegetarian and fish and all that, and then wait when the Shravan month is going to get over and then just go back to that with double vengeance. When we are not aware, sometimes all this happens. But as one becomes aware in the spiritual field and one experiences, Array, this is sattvic way of life is so nice. I'm able to meditate, I'm able to be happy, conflicts and agitations in my mind are lesser. Then one will slowly let go of all those rajasic and tamasic ways of being. And so that's why in this he says that don't let this month go without doing a sadhana or a vrata. Um, then he says here, Purascharanam apyatra mantranam siddhidam param Shiva Shadvarna mantrasya gayatriya shcha japam charet. This month, when Purascharan is done, it will definitely bless a person with Siddhi. So Puracharan is as many alphabets as are there in the mantra, that many lakh or crore times the japa is done in this fixed period, 1 month. So there's a whole calculation which is given, how many malas per day if you do. So if one does 60 malas per day, one will come to not 60, how many? 200 malas per day if one does, then one will come to 6 lakh japa. Um, Gurudev did this Purascharan of Om Namah Shivaya in Badrinath. After he finished his Char Dham Yatra, he concluded Char Dham Yatra in Badrinath. Before he took sannyas, Shivanandji told him, you go on this Char Dham Yatra, meet various Mahatmas, see what is the life of a sadhu. And on the Yatra, anyway, one lives like that, living on alms, etc. And he said, you see what is the life of a sadhu and what is sannyas. Meet these Mahatmas who are in that state of sannyas and then see whether that is the life you want or is just a passing infatuation and a phase. So when he concluded the whole yatra at Badrinath, he stayed there, did Purascharan, but there he did 100 malas a day, so he did 2 months. Stayed in Badrinath for 2 months, and at the end of that Purascharan, he decided, yes, I am going to take sannyas. So, Purascharan, very powerful sadhana. Any mantra, if we want the mantra to bless us with the siddhis, whatever one seeks, even darshana Bhagwan, etc., then Purascharan has to be done. And so here he says, Purascharanam apyatra mantranam siddhidam param. This month is most auspicious for Purascharan of any mantra, but specifically he says, Shiva Shadvarna mantrasya. So Shadakshari mantra of Bhagwan Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. Om is added, so it is Shadakshari. If without Om one chants, Namah Shivaya also is a mantra. That is Panchakshari mantra. Or you can do Gayatri Purascharan, 24 lakh times or 24 crore times. So Puracharan is another sadhana that can be done. Pradakshina namaskaran veda parayanam tatha japa purusha suktasya adhikam phalado bhavet. One can do pradakshina of Bhagwan's mandir, meaning visit the Shiva mandir, do the pradakshina, do namaskar. In general, if one is doing Shiva puja at home also one can do, but specifically then indication is one goes to the temple, Veda Parayanam, chant the Vedas, Purusha Sukta japa can be done. Japah Purusha Suktasya adhikam phalado bhavet. So entire Purusha Suktam itself is one mantra. The japa of that. So repeated. Suppose one says every day 11 times I will chant Purusha Suktam. I'm just giving number. You can chant as many times. Then adhikam phalado bhavet. Graha Yajna, Koti Homa, Laksha Homa, all these one can do for Navagrahas, the various Yajnas, Koti Homa, Laksha Homa, all these. Asmin Mase Chaikadinam Yo Vandhyam Vratato Nayet Sayati Narakam Ghoram Yavada Bhuta Samplavam. So even if one day one does not do a vrata, means in the whole month, not even a day one could spare time to do vrata. That is one meaning. More intense meaning is not even a day of Vrata should be missed. But take the simpler one. If in the 30 days, if one day also I don't do any sadhana, so what is the result then? Sayati narakam ghoram, that person goes to terrible hell. See, when we read this, we feel, what is this? Why this is going, saying like this? Why this is being imposed on us? It's not like that. The idea is if I'm not doing Vrata, if I'm not doing sadhana, what am I doing? I am going doing bhoga vritti only. No? And if I'm not living in Satyam Ahimsa Brahmacharya, then some adharma only is happening. That will lead us to Naraka. What else? Our karma will give us the right karma phala. So, yathayam me priyo masas tatha kinchana me priyam kamina phaladaschayam nishkamasyatu mokshadaha. He says, of all the different months, this month is the most dear one. No other month is as dear to me as this month. And in this, all the sakama karma, any sadhana done with this desire will be fulfilled, and those who are doing nishkama, they will get mukti. So beautifully, the second chapter now has said some of these things. And this is a part of the Chaturmas. So in this second chapter only it comes that Chaturshu yani maseshu varjyani shunu sattama. What some people follow this as their sadhana, they will not eat certain things in the Chaturmas. So Shravancha tyajet shakam. So he says here that one drops eating vegetables in Shravan Mas. Then Dadi Bhadrapade tatha. In Bhadrapad one doesn't take curd. Dugdham Ashvayuje Masi Kartike Dvidalam Tyajet. Then in this Ashwin Masa, one drops milk, and in Kartik, dal. So then also it gives some parihar, some other alternatives that if one does not leave, if one is not able to drop these, then in all the 4 months, then only in Shravan you drop uh, all these vegetable or curd or milk or dal. So this second chapter ends with this. Now, why people follow those diet restrictions? Sometimes it is because of the rainy season. Some of these leafy vegetables and some of these things will have difficulties, bacteria and many other things, whatever. So in the earlier days, not that much of, even today, many times we don't wash them properly. One will fall sick. And one is not traveling too much. Dairy products one is avoiding. Many other reasons may be there. One wants to follow, one follows, is given in the Purana, so I just shared. And there are, I know people there are who still today follow some of these. So that is the Shravan Masa Mahatmyam. Today we will meditate upon Bhagwan's manifestation as Rudra. So the Vedic name of Bhagwan Shiva is Rudra, one of the names, and the whole Rudram portion is there. And we find that Yajurveda has, Krishna Yajurveda has the Namakam, or which is called as Rudram, where Bhagwan Rudra is worshipped in hundreds of forms. It starts with Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, and Namaha, Namaha, Namaha will keep coming in that. Many, many names with Namaha. So Namah Shivaya also is a part of Rudra only. Mrityunjaya Mantra also is a part of Rudra. Namaste Astu Bhagavan, part of Rudra. So this Rudram Chamakam it is called. Rudram is Namakam and Chamakam. Chamakam has Cha, 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 so Chamakam, where one prays to Bhagwan, please bless me with this also and that also, and grains also, and food also, and water also, and various things, qualities also, different things are asked in that. So this Rudram, so Rudra is the Vedic manifestation of Bhagwan. And who is that Rudra? So Rudra is infinite pure consciousness, Supreme Brahman, who is Sachidananda Swarupa also, and who in whom there is no duality, in whom there is no Srishti. That infinite consciousness is Rudra. Using the power of Maya, that Rudra only becomes Ishvara. And that Ishvara then creates, sustains, and destroys. And so, Pushpadanta's Shiva Mahimna Stotram, verse number 30, beautifully he says, Bahula Rajase Vishwotpattau Bhavaya Namo Namaha. Out of Rajoguna, because Rajoguna is the guna for dynamism, activity, etc. So, Bahula Rajase, taking the, invoking this Rajoguna, Bhagwan becomes Brahma and creates the Srishti. Prabalatamase Tatsamhare Haraya Namo Namaha. So, with the invocation of Tamoguna, one becomes Hara. Bhava is one name of Shivji, and in that form, Brahmaji, he is Brahmaji who creates. Then Hara is his name, invoking Tamoguna as the destroyer. And Janasukha Krite Satvi Janasukha Krite Satvodriktau Mridaya Namo Namaha. So Mrida is the invoking Sattva Guna. Mrida is the name of Bhagwan Shiva, who as Vishnu sustains the universe. So Rajas to create Brahmaji, Sattva to sustain Vishnu Bhagwan, and Tamas to destroy is Shivji, is Hara. Pramahasi Pade Nistraigunye Shivaya Namo Namaha. And the Supreme Lord is anyway beyond three gunas. So Nistraigunye, to that Shiva Namo Namaha. So it's very interesting in Shiva, in the Shiva tradition, Shaivite tradition. So how we purify ourselves in the Vaishnava tradition, in any puja, if you see, we will say Om Keshavaya Swaha, Narayana Swaha, Madhavaya Swaha. In that way, in the Shiva tradition, we say Om Bhavaya Namaha, Om Mridaya Namaha, Mridaya Namaha, and Haraya Namaha. So these three names, Bhavaya Namaha, Haraya Namaha, Mridaya Namaha, Bhavaya Namaha, Haraya Namaha, Mridaya Namaha, one can keep chanting to purify. And generally that is how the prokshan will be done. Or mantrachaman will be done. So suppose sometime one is not able to take bath. One is traveling, there is no river, there is no water, some reason has come, unavoidable, not out of laziness. if one is not able to take bath, then what should one do? Whatever little water is there, take that and say Om Bhavaya Namaha, Mridaya Namaha, Haraya Namaha, sprinkle. Snan done. Again, I'm saying they don't say, Ki Swamiji, now every morning to meditate, we have to wake up early. So we are not going to get up and take bath. We will just do this. Mridaya Namaha, Haraya Namaha, Bhavaya Namaha. Take bath and sit for dhyan. Unavoidable, inevitable situation, then apply this. In general, one can always say Haraya Namaha, Mridaya Namaha, Bhavaya Namaha and purify the mind. So that Rudra, who is infinite consciousness, becomes Ishvara, appears as Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, creator, sustainer, destroyer is the Ishvara. And that very Rudra also specifically manifests as a form of Rudra. And when he manifests as a form of Rudra, that form is having specific meanings, and that form is what is worshipped in the Veda also. So Shiva is a Vedic god, is not some creation of human being and some few people, rishis, etc. Bhagwan himself it is, and he is the revealer of the Vedas. So, what is the meaning of Rudra? The moment one hears the word Rudra, one thinks Bhagwan is in some Rudra Rupa, angry form, and he makes people cry. So, yes, one meaning of Rudra is that Rodayati iti Rudraha, but why is that meaning there? Because as Hara, he destroys everything, and when we are attached, then we don't want to give up. Then we cry. As a child, if the toy is taken away from the child, one will cry, the child will cry. Because a child can't live without that toy. The child has depended, has developed some attachment to that. Same way, Parivartan, change is the very nature of this whole world, and everything will change. But we are attached to certain things. Now we don't want to let go. So when that thing changes, one is miserable. It can be health, it can be body, it can be death, it can be financial situation, relationships, anything. So we cry. Actually, in that context, we cry because of our attachment. Bhagwan is not making us cry. Bhagwan is doing what is the nature of the samsara, that is change. Second, during pralay, when the whole srishti goes into destruction, then the jivas feel as though they are losing everything. But if we actually see how effortlessly one goes to sleep and how one is happy in the state of sleep, again one comes back. Again, the next day, all the activities happen. Pralaya is actually like that. Jivas go back into unmanifest state and then again come back into manifest state. But when we don't have the right vision, then we cry. Which is why the study of scriptures is important and we understand that this is what is happening. Even when the cosmic deluge happens and everything is underwater, if you see, similar thing is happening in our daily life only. When we are going to sleep, all other thoughts are gone. The mind is in a tamasic state, is gone into dormant, unmanifest state in the deep sleep. And that's where one finds so much of joy and happiness. One is closest to the self in that state. One comes out of that. Next day again one starts doing work. If we understand that vision, then pralaya also is not such a big challenge. It will keep happening. After every Chaturyugi, one pralaya will happen, and then the next Chaturyugi starts. Like that, 1,000 Chaturyugis is one day of Brahmaji. Another pralaya happens at that time, and Brahmaji then sleeps for 1,000 Chaturyugis. Till that time, there is no Srishti. Brahmaji is sleeping. Then again he wakes up, again Srishti will start the next day for him. Like that, 100 years of Brahmaji, one another pralay will happen. When that Brahmaji will go and another Brahmaji will come. So if this big picture is seen, then no sorrow. But if that is not seen, then pralay can cause sorrow. Now, pralay does not mean only cosmic deluge where everything is destroyed in water. Even certain tragedies which are there, uh, like Wayanad, what has happened, very unfortunate, and we pray for all of their Sadgati and the rescuing of all people who are still there, affected, trapped. So, those are also called small aspects of pralay. Now, it does cause sorrow, pain, but that is where bhakti has to be invoked, Sharanagati has to be invoked, Shraddha has to be there, ki Bhagwan is there with us, we can pass over these difficult times. So that is one. So otherwise, when we don't know this, definitely there will be sorrow. Sometimes even when we know there is sorrow, but if we anchor in bhakti at that time, we can deal with it. So one who is samhara kale prajaha samharan rodayati iti rudraha. Shankaracharya ji's Shankara Bhashya, 114th shloka, or 114th name actually, sorry. So that is Rudra, one who makes people cry. But one who makes people cry has different connotations. Sometimes we cry out of joy also. When Bhagwan manifests, gives darshan, then the devotee cries. When we feel Bhagwan's grace in our life, that how Bhagwan has so protected us, saved us, taken care of us, helped us, uplifted us, blessed us with so many things, then one cries out of gratitude. Sometimes one cries out of the pangs of separation also. That Bhagwan, when will you give me darshan? I am waiting and I've been doing sadhana and you are far away. Why don't you give me darshan? So one cries how the gopis cried out of separation from Bhagwan when he went, Krishna Bhagwan. So one may cry because of that. One may cry because Bhagwan punishes the jiva through their karma phalas. When one does adharmic karma, then Bhagwan will punish. Then that is also another form of crying. So Bhagwan makes the jiva cry for various things. When we do something wrong, we feel the guilt. Knowingly, sometimes when we do wrong, then we feel the guilt when we cry saying, Arey, why did I do this? Why did I compromise? And Gurudev used to say those tears are very important to burn away the negative tendencies which will make us do it again. Genuinely repenting, genuine repentance, when it happens, then one takes a sankalpa, I am not doing this again. Why did I land up doing this compromise? So then one has tears and one cries. So he used to say that will cleanse the heart, that will make it pure. So various reasons why Bhagwan makes us cry. And Bhagwan is the one who also is the life force because of which there is even functioning of the senses and specifically the speech. To express ourselves, Bhagwan is the one who gives us that speech. Rudam rati dadati iti. Again, Vishnu Sahasranam only, Shankaracharya's commentary. Then he says, Ruhu dukkham dukkha karanam va dravayati iti va rudraha. Same Vishnu Sahasranam. One who removes the sorrow and the cause of sorrow and the root cause of sorrow. All the three. So beautiful that is. Dukkham, dukkha karanam va dravayati iti va rudraha. Ruhu means dukkham and dravayati, remove, Rudra. So what a beautiful name. Bhagwan is the one who destroys our sorrow. On one hand, the previous name meant as though he is giving us sorrow, but he is not giving sorrow. Our attachment gives us sorrow. He is the one who destroys the attachment. Dukkham destroys the sorrow and destroy the cause of sorrow. So at one level, attachment is the cause of sorrow. At deepest level, ignorance is the cause of sorrow. By giving us the right knowledge through satsang, even what we are doing right now, Bhagwan's Kripa, the Shravan month we are able to do sadhana, get up in the morning, listen to satsang, do dhyan, all that is Bhagwan only is making it happen. So by giving us the opportunities to evolve, he gives us knowledge, he becomes the guru, comes into our life. He is Dakshinamurti, he is Adi Shankaracharya ji, his various avatars where he came, gave the knowledge as the guru, helps to remove the sorrow, the cause of sorrow, ignorance, root cause of sorrow, ignorance. And by bringing different challenges in our life, he gets us out of our attachments also, because they cause us main sorrow. So much of it is because of our attachment to food, to people, to things attached, brings us out. And literally also Dukkha Bhagwan removes. The moment we think Shankara, Shiva, we remember Bhagwan, Dukkha will disappear. So these are beautiful meanings of Rudra. So today we will uh, meditate on this simple mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. This is the first, Rudram Chamakam begins with that. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Like that. So beautiful composition there. So there, Om Namo, my salutation. Om is the shortest mantra indicating the supreme, most powerful mantra indicating the supreme truth. Namo is salutations. Namo means Namaha. Namaha by Sandhi becomes Namo. My salutations. To whom? Bhagavate. One who has Bhaga. What is Bhaga? Bhaga means virtues. One who has these six in full measure. Aishwaryasya samagrasya vidyasya yashasa shriyaha vairagyasya mokshascha shannam bhagaiti ingana. So six of these. Aishwarya, glory. Vidya, knowledge. Yasha, fame. Shri, prosperity. Vairagya, dispassion. And moksha is freedom. One who has these six in infinite measure is Bhagavan. Like we say Dhanavan, Vidyavan, Jnanavan, like that. Bhagavan, one who has six bhagas. We also have these six, but in small quantity. Bhagavan has in infinite. So, my salutations to that Supreme Lord, and Bhagavan means because he has the six in infinite, he is the Supreme Lord. That's why all these words, God, Lord, are very limited to express what Bhagavan, Ishvara, Brahman, all that can mean. And as much we can use, we should use this word. So instead of saying Lord Shiva, we should try and say Bhagwan Shiva. Because Bhagwan word has different connotation, the Lord word in English has a different connotation. So Bhagwan Shiva. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. So we will meditate on that beautiful mantra. The same form we used yesterday, we will use again today also.